A topic I love to talk about is, I've actually learned the most of it from Gary Brecka. Those of you that don't know him, look him up. He has pioneered information on methylation. And there are 44% of us walking around with a methylation issue. And it's a genetic condition where you can't change your genetics. But these, to make it simple, is, including myself, having a methylation issue means that we can't detox properly. So it's almost a superpower also, because we're the ones that can feel when something's not right in the body first, almost like a canary in the coal mine. There was a very cool study done about people who are poor methylators, meaning they also can't digest folic acid, which is a chemical, and B vitamins that are not methylated. So with your vitamins and things, they have to be methylated, meaning they have to be broken down and processed so the body can digest them. So I won't get into too much of that, but there's this really cool study where they took poor methylators and then regular methylators, and they told them, take this basket and go out into the forest and pick mushrooms that are edible. And the group that came back that were poor methylators, meaning they can't process or detox the right way, and they're keen as to what they can put in their bodies and maybe what they can't put in their bodies, had all mushrooms that you could eat. They were healthy. And the regular methylators had all toxic mushrooms that would have killed them. So we had this keen sense about us. Now, when we're not tuning into that, because maybe we're laden with infection, and you see, give you an example of young boys, so much exposure to computers and television and things that are fast, and schooling, and they can't sit still, and they're maybe diagnosed with ADHD. Put on Ritalin, put on Adderall. There's a time and a place, right? I'm not here to bash that. But what I'm here to tell you is a lot of times they are, as Gary Brecka would say, they are ingesting foods that have folic acid in them. So folic acid is in anything that's enriched or fortified. So if you look through your ingredients list of your goldfish and bread and pastas, we're pumping these kids with these chemicals that they can't methylate. They literally cannot process them. And the symptom of it, or side effect, is inattentiveness, behavior issues, irritability, inability to focus. So the diagnosis might not be a true ADHD diagnosis, and more that the body's becoming toxic with chemicals it can't digest. So it is groundbreaking information that you could learn more about, but we educate. So not only with magnets, we will spend a good chunk of our session talking about methylation, because we can actually muscle test for the methylation too and be like, have you heard of this before? It looks like your body might have trouble processing folic acid. Another population with this are prenatal women that are trying to get pregnant or pregnant, because most of our vitamins the prenatal vitamins are pumped with folic acid. And so many of us, including myself, I was so sick on folic acid, on the prenatal vitamins, and I thought it was just the extra iron that was in it. Come to find out, there's a very small handful of really good quality vitamins where it's methylfolate instead of folic acid. That methylfolate, a person with an MTHFR gene mutation can process. So you have all these women walking around pumping bodies and babies with a chemical they can't digest, and then wonder why they don't feel good. Why is postpartum such an issue, possibly? And why is this child out the gate within a couple years so hyperactive? Because it's a genetic piece that's passed down from one parent or both. So that's a hot topic that we love to talk about lately. We like to inform our consumers outside of the box of just biomagnetism, because quite frankly, there could be a hole in the bucket, like a methylation issue or an iron deficiency or a thyroid dysregulation that we can only move so much. But if they took care of on their own with their practitioner, we all win.
So what should you look for on labels?
So look for on labels, definitely if you're looking at your multivitamin, which is the most basic, I would say, make sure that it says methylfolate. If you see the word folic acid, that's a chemical. And that folic acid is also added into the labels of Honey Nut Cheerios or Cheerios. Fortified with B vitamins. Tough thing is the fortified piece that looks like it's good to add in vitamins for almost half the population it's not so good for. And it might not be outward feeling of like a stomach ache. It could be more behavior issue. And over time, it accumulates. So just enriched and fortified, read your labels. It is also told to me that most things that are organic, like a certain breads or things, they can't add that in because it's a synthetic chemical. So just read your labels and look up Gary Brecka because he's pretty brilliant when it comes to that.